Want the inside scoop on this game and all things Trojans? Be sure to sign up for the Three Torches presented by Smart and Final. It's a free newsletter that'll hit your email inbox 3 times a week with game info, player insights, and more. Go to usctrojans.com/3torches and sign up. And Monster Energy, the official energy drink partner of USC. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet. Monster Energy, unleash the beast. Keely Eure joins us now for our football roundtable, and this is the one we've been waiting for, guys. I mean, when the schedule came out long ago, certainly people like us, this is the one that you circle, and it's an interesting matchup. You know, I watched them sort of take Nebraska apart by using their pass rush. I think that there's strengths and weaknesses with this Michigan team. What scares you the most about them as an opponent?
I think this is going to be a tough running team, obviously. I am curious to see who shines as far as running team. Is it because if you look at the Big Ten, it's Michigan and USC 1-1, so 1-2. So who's going to win in that regard? So I'm curious about that. So curious what you guys think as well.
Yeah, I agree. We have to stop the run this week. That was a big issue against Illinois. Justice Haynes, the running back for Michigan, is one of the best in the Big Ten, really one of the best in the country. He transferred from Alabama. He's playing at a high level right now. They have a younger quarterback, and I always say when you have a young quarterback, especially a freshman, you got to lean on that run game. They have done that. This offensive line is one of the best in college football right now as well. So, yeah, if USC can't correct those mistakes from a couple Saturdays ago and stop the run, it's going to be a long day for
Is their
the
offense
Trojans.
more diversified, though, than it was last year? I mean, last year was so one note, and we still ultimately the one big run all of a sudden changed the game in Michigan's favor. But they could do a little bit more now, right?
Yeah, they can throw the ball a little bit more. Last year we saw them at the maybe at the right time, but they just didn't have the quarterback situation figured out. But I think for me, it's really going to come down to physicality. I think if you watch that Illinois game, they challenged us with the physical brand of football, and I don't know if we were necessarily ready for it. It looked like we kind of got caught off guard. I don't know if there was other factors that kind of went into that, but they challenged us physically. They were prepared. They knew what kind of game plan they wanted to run against the Trojans. You heard about their offensive line coach and what he said after the game, how we wanted to challenge them, and they lost that challenge. But that doesn't mean that's the end of trying to be a physical team. You have a big bye week where you can work on that kind of stuff, and you have a big challenge here where you get a team that's coming into your place. There's no excuse for not having the correct mindset, energy, and physicality turned up for this one, because you're going to have to bring that in this challenge.
Yeah, and when you look at the challenge that sort of I was mentioning at the top, last year the interior of that Michigan defensive line was phenomenal, and then Mason Graham gets taken, 5th overall or something very early in the draft, and they were really talented there. But I watched that Nebraska game, it seemed like the edge, and that's like something I brought up the other day. These are areas where I think right now we look at them as USC's strengths, right? USC's not giving up a lot of sacks. Elijah Page is an elite tackle. You hope to have him back this week. Justin Taonu has been fantastic. We talked to him. Tobias Raymond's been excellent. So they feel good in that area, but all of a sudden you start seeing first-round draft picks on the other side, and you find out how good you are.
Yeah, I think with Yakas, or with Akas, the end from last year.
Oh, yeah.
He had some good plays against the Trojans, so that's it's something you got to work in going to the bye week. That's another week of being prepared at those positions where you get Elijah Page back. So those guys will be challenged up front. The defense they had, the DC they got, they're going to challenge them. You feel I've been feeling pretty good about this offense. I think one of the things going into the season was like, where's this offense going to be? Where's Jaden going to make those steps? Who's our weapons? And I think you've kind of figured some of that stuff out offensively. Now some of the things I thought about the defense going into the season have changed, because they haven't really taken that big step forward. So you're kind of waiting for that change, and that's the side of the ball you're kind of been waiting for now.
We have to run the football, though, to slow these guys down on the edge when you go into these games against a good pass rush. And Wink Martindale is an unbelievable defensive coordinator. It's so difficult, figuring out what they're doing, especially on third down. And if you get on those third and long situations, it's almost game over, because that's where they can pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. But if you can win in the run game on first and second down, move the pocket with Jaden Mayava, get some of those quick game throws, get the ball in Makai's hands early and let him go make some plays. That can frustrate that defensive line, and then we find those explosive plays when they're there. But I fully trust right now, even with Elijah Page out, I trust Taonu at left tackle. I trust Tobias Raymond at right tackle, even if Keelan O'Connor's still out. You get John Ray Reed in there. He made some great calls last week or a couple weeks ago against Illinois. So I still feel comfortable, but I'm with Shaun. It's going to come down to the trenches and who's going to win up front.
I'm really curious how Riley's going to attack this, because, we've seen this matchup before in the sense that Michigan is number 7 in run defense, but 59 in passing defense. When we look at Michigan State, that was a team where we're like, okay, USC is going to take advantage that they're not as great on the back end, but then USC ended up with more rushing yards than passing yards in that game. So do you replicate that, and can you get that same success on the ground?
Yeah, I think that's based on the game, how it kind of unfolds itself sometimes. Some of those numbers can be, you want to attack a team this, but you see a weakness here, or whatever Coach Riley sees and how the game unfolds with the running attack or passing attack. He's going to press that button and keep pressing that button, and that kind of stuff happens.
What is USC's greatest advantage that you see on film going in if you were looking to attack?
I think perimeter right now with Mekhi Lemon. Hopefully Jacoby Lane's healthy. Jade Maiava's playing as good as anyone right now in college football. Yes, established a run, but we have to be able to have those explosive plays in the pass game. Go out there and throw the football over the field. Let the run game come naturally. But if we can't protect, then it doesn't mean anything. But, yeah, I really think we can get Jade Maiava going. In this game, you're at home, too. We're not going to have to worry about the communication issues. You're going to be able to be great in communication pre-snap and post-snap and confirm what you see with your eyes and then take advantage of the big plays down the field when they're there.
This is a cheesy football answer, but I'm curious to see if USC uses the loss to Illinois in the bye week as a chip on their shoulder. Like, is that something that they can come out with and have that fire against Michigan, you know?
It absolutely is. I don't think it's cheesy at all. I mean, this was my point about Illinois coming off getting spanked by Indiana, where you go, oh, well, that means Illinois is bad. Not necessarily. I mean, there's actually lots of stats over the years that will tell you that teams that get blown out are very unlikely to get blown out again the next week. And no greater sense of pride shown than what happened in the Rose Bowl, I guess, on Saturday. I mean, this idea that past results are going to lead to future results is just not true, and especially in a sport that's so focused on energy and intensity.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This game a lot of the time it comes down to energy, and you talk about all these, the analytics of the game and all this stuff, but sometimes it's a team that comes out with more energy. It's a team that just wants to impose their will. Illinois, I thought, had a great mindset going into that one, and that's the kind of mindset the Trojans need to come out with, the crowd raging. They should have the advantage in the energy department on Saturday.
And that was kind of to my point is start fast, force them to try to keep up. Yes, Bryce Underwood is a good quarterback. He has all the talent in the world, but he's still a freshman, and he's raw, and it's a sold-out crowd, and I hope the crowd is loud and makes it difficult on him in this game, but we need to play our style of football, establish a run, but score a lot of points and put some pressure and some stress on that defense and force Bryce Underwood to try to keep up.
Yeah, the other side of the coin of this Big Ten thing is you have to be a great home team, because we know how much more difficult life is on the road than, to be honest, it was in the Pac-12 all those years. So you have to be a great home team. USC had a chance to finish off Penn State last year, didn't get it done. This is a chance against Michigan. All right, we got one final segment to come, guys. You're listening to Trojans Live. One final segment of Trojans Live here. Getting you set for USC versus Michigan, presented by I Trust, a sold-out Big Ten big battle coming up to the Coliseum on Saturday. Trojan Tailgate Show will go live at 2:30. Kick will be at 4:30. Trojans Live is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football. They also sponsor our over-under. Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC Athletics. Jordan Moore, Shaun, Cody Kessler, Keely Eure. All right, guys, I just sort of heard a lot of this talk, and so wanted to get your take. My over-under is 2.5 losses to get into the college football playoff this season. A lot of takes out there that this year will be the first ever 9-3 team to make the college football playoffs. So that's ultimately the question. Do you think a 9-3 team can get in this year?
I'm going to take the under.
You're going to take the under. So you think
don't
10-2 or better?
Yeah, 10-2 or better.
I'm torn on this. I think they might, Jordan, with everything that's happening right now. I think a 9-3 Big Ten or SEC school will be able to get in this year. I don't know if that'll be fair, but based off of what the committee has done in the past, they don't necessarily look at record. They look at, they're even looking at who starting quarterbacks are. We saw what happened with Florida State a couple years ago. So they're not looking just at record. They're also looking at strength of schedule, who's on your roster, how healthy are you right now, were those losses because you didn't have a full team. So I do think we're starting to get to that era to where a 9-3 team, or maybe the record, isn't as important as body of work.
Yeah, if you were to ask me maybe prior to this past weekend and how crazy college football is, I might have taken the under. But I think I'm going to take the over. And you talked about it with Coach Riley, but the parity in football right now, it's just I think that'll happen.
You guys ever been I think it's time for a 9-3 team, honestly. The way Cody's describing it, I actually have always agreed with this. I mean, this idea that you can just play nobody and then they go, oh, I went 11-1. What did you actually do?
Yeah.
I mean, but it's so hard. It's so difficult because a lot of the times now it's imbalanced conference schedules like Indiana had last year, where they did in a way deserve to get in because they won the games in front of them, but their conference schedule was just all the back 2/3 teams. So it can be difficult to assess.
The unfortunate part too, it's reality. I agree with you. I know it's probably not a popular take, but it's unfortunate too because the players don't make the schedule. They don't decide who they play. They go out there and handle business. But at the end of the day, it's not who has the best record. It's who are the top 12 teams. I know you have some other bids from teams that deserve to get in, but that top 7 or 8 is, don't look at the record. Who's the best team on paper and who has a chance to actually win a national championship?
Outside of USC, who has the best helmets in college football?
Oh, Michigan's up there this week.
Yeah.
Florida State's. I like Florida State.
Terps.
Seconds.
Yeah, I'm going to go with those two.
Yeah.
Ohio State, the
Wow.
stickers on Ohio State was
Is that a
something
hot
I
take?
like growing up.
Yeah, it's a new one.
I don't care about helmets.
All right. Great talking to everyone. We will see you on Saturday. Fight on.